Hello guys, welcome to Solving Solutions on one channel where I get solutions to all your solving problems. It's nice having you in class again today. How have you been? On today's tutorial, we are going to use one of these research tools to create regular points within a boundary, right? Good. Now, sometimes it can be useful when you're trying to carry out trying to get some sample points for your data collection or whatever the case is, right? Good. And by extension, we can also extract their coordinates. So I've actually navigated to my alma mater, the Federal School of Surveying, Oyo. So I'm going to create a boundary shapefile. So we go to layer, create layer, and then we have the new shapefile layer. Then in the new shapefile layer creation window, we browse. Good. So we are in a folder of our choice. Let's call this extent, right? Then we click on save. Then the geometry type we are going to select is polygon because it's actually a polygon layer. We call this name, and then the CRS, let's go to projected, which is zone 31 of the UTM, right? Good, because that's where oil falls. So we add to field list, right? Then we click on OK. Now we have our extent here. Let's make the symbology outline, make it about 0.5, and then change the color to red for legibility. Now you can have your boundary maybe as state boundary or maybe local government boundary, whatever extent you have, or maybe you want to create. If you want to create it, that's how you create it, and if you have it, you just continue from here, right? Good. Now, since we have created this shapefile for the extent, let's now define a smaller boundary within this extent, right? Good, that we want to extract our sample points or those equally spaced points, right? Good. So we toggle editing. You can achieve that by clicking on this toggle editing from the digitizing toolbar, or you right click and then you can see your toggle editing here, right? Good. So it's on, and then it's polygon we are trying to pick. However, we need a regular polygon, we need a rectangular polygon. So for you to also achieve that, you put on shape digitizing toolbar, right? Good. You put it on so that you can actually access rectangle from extent. So we just say within the school. So we have something like this, right? Good. So you drag, click, then you right click to what? To stop, right? So let's call this 1, and then let's call this BD. Click on OK. So this is the extent we are going to create those sample points, right? Good. So we can decide to save and stop editing. So we use this. Let's now come back to vector research tools, and then we have what? The regular points. Now what does it do? This algorithm creates a point layer with a given number of regular points, all of them within a given extent. That was why we had to define that extent, right? Good. So we have our input to be the extent we have defined. You can see the coordinates, right? Good. Then we have our point spacing / count. The extent might not be too large, so depending on the extent you have, that's how your point spacing would also be. So let's say 50 meters, and you can see the unit is in meters because we decided to use a projected CRS whose unit is also in meters, right? Good. So it's also very important that you pay attention to that. Now for the initial inset for corner left hand side, you can leave every other stuff as default as they are. Then for the output CRS, we can still decide to use the zone 31 of the UTM, right? Good. So we leave every other parameter as default as they are, and then we click on run. Good. So we have some random points. If I put out this, we can see it. We can decide to also change the color to something brighter. So let's have our red somewhere there. Then let me make this about 3. Then we click on OK. So we have these sample points, right? But now if we open up the attributes table of these points, we can only see them as ID, right? Good. there is no special definition. We don't know the easting and the northing, right? Good. So for us to now maybe see them on ground, for setting out, or maybe to locate them on ground, we are going to assign the XY coordinate to them. So to simply do that, we still come back to the attributes table, which is already opened. We start editing, right? Good. So that we can add or remove to it. So we create some, okay, open the field calculator. Let's create a new field. So let's call this X, right? Good. So it's actually decimal number. The length is this because the coordinates can be this long. Then we want it to be in 3 decimal places, right? Good. So we have we now come to search for $X, right? Good. So we have $X. It returns the X coordinate of the current point feature, right? Good. So that's what it does. So we have something like this. Click on OK. So these are the X coordinates. Similarly, we still open our field calculator. We have our Y. Then we have whole number, 3 decimal places. Similarly, we also search for $Y, which returns what the Y coordinate, right? Good. So the XY coordinates of those sample points have been populated. We can decide to save edit, stop editing, and then we close, right? Good. Now, remember this is a scratch layer. We can decide to save it. So we use this as a shapefile. We browse. So we have our random points, right? Good. Then we save. And then we leave every other parameter as default and we click on OK. Good. Now, how do we validate what we have done? It's as simple as it is that it's falling within the Federal School of Surveying boundary, or maybe the extent where we have defined. But if we decide to take this out and then we try to come back to add layer, add vector layer, and we browse, okay, random points, right? Good. So let's take it to only S3 shape files, and then we need our random points to be open, add, and then close. So you rightly see that, or you can rightly see that those points that we have assigned their X and Y coordinates before we exported them have actually fell, or they have been validated in their correct location, right? Now this is a plus, because if you had only extracted or exported rather those random points, you would have regularly spaced points, but you would not be able to locate them, maybe for setting out or for whatever purpose. So thanks for coming to class. We hope we have shown you using QGIS, or we have provided solution to this particular surveying or GIS problem, how you can create some random points using this research tools, regularly spaced points, right? Good. How you can create some regularly spaced points using this research tool, and then also assigning their X and Y coordinates to those points. So we are going to see you on the next tutorial. Ensure you keep staying safe and have a very good time. Bye.